Hello. Well, I've been strolling around the internet and I heard some of the shows say that they've noticed a real surge of patriotism. And in my travels around the internet, I've pretty much found the same thing. It's refreshing. But one of the people that were on the internet said that it took Donald Trump to remind us that it's it's okay to be right, and by that he means right wing politically conservative. It's okay to be conservative. It doesn't harm anybody, and part of that we've spent. Well, he also pointed out that there seems to have been a small group of people on the left who kind of co-opted the media and they seem to hammer the fact that um, they have to convince the people that being conservative is wrong. You know, telling the people that, well, we've been such an evil country, and now we have to make up for all we've done in the past. Well, no, we're not a perfect nation. We In our Constitution it says that we strive to be perfect, but it's like being a Christian. You're never gonna be perfect. Where people are not perfect, but I cannot think of one country that has given so much in blood, sweat, tears, and treasure to all around the world than the United States. There are entire countries that are still here today because the United States stepped up. They would not have been here if the United States had not spoken up for them. And we and I mean these are big names. I mean Britain, France, Japan, South Korea. We've all over the world. We've come when some bully on the block wants to flex his muscle against somebody weaker. We've been the ones to stand up and say, no, you're not going to do that in this playground. But those on the left see that as imperialism. Well, the United States has never had an empire. We got protectorates, Guam, Puerto Rico, um, I believe American Samoa. I mean, but just about every 4 years, you know, we ask them, do you want statehood or do you want to be your own country? Or, we give them a choice, yay or nay. and they make their choices. Puerto Rico, they pretty much say, yeah, well, we still want to be a protectorate, but we don't want statehood. Guam doesn't really have the population for it, unless I'm mistaken. But I'm sure they're given a choice, if they want to go with us or go somewhere else. I Well, when I was in the Marine Corps, we had people that I served with who were from Puerto Rico, from American Samoa, from Guam. We even had some people from the Philippines, and that's another one that they were a protectorate of ours, and we gave them a choice, and they chose to be their own country. Go for it. So that's another country that probably wouldn't have been here if it hadn't been for America being American. So the shouts that we're imperial power rings kind of hollow, because empires don't usually give their people those kind of rights. They usually say you do it our way or you don't do it at all, and that's not how we run things. But I am glad to see this surge of patriotism. People respect our troops. We got a long way to go before you know, we're perfect, and chances are we won't make that. But people are proud to be American again, and that's part of the whole MAGA, however you want to say it, that whole movement. It was It's not only make America great again, it's make America proud again. There was a time in the not too distant past that, well, on one of my videos, I said couldn't, I don't think I could encourage a child of mine to join the military. And that was a hard pill to swallow. We, my family, from both sides, we've had ancestors that have been in just about every war the United States has ever fought. We've always had servicemen in our family. Some during time of war, some not. My father served during peacetime. I served in war. My son served during the Afghan war. My grandfather served during World War II. My great uncle served during World War II. We've had, you know, war and peace. But I don't think I have ever seen it get to the point where I would second guess defending my country. But it did. But now, well, they mentioned on the internet that, there's a surge in enlistments now. They just got done with 4 years where they couldn't meet their quotas. Nobody wanted to join. Why would they? But now in, what is it, a few weeks, it's all been turned on its head. And like I said before, I don't see, of course, 4 years can prove me wrong, but as of right now, cannot, I do not see a a candidate on the Democratic side that would even be viable. We've got a deep bench on the Republican side, from J.D. Vance to Donald Trump Jr. to that governor of Florida. That's just to name three. Tulsi Gabbard, four. It's a good feeling. And Trump said in a speech, "Are you tired of winning yet?" No, I don't think I am. Not quite yet. But, you know, as I've said in several videos, you know, too much of a good thing can be bad. So, as citizens, we have to keep the winning in check. You know, there's a difference between winning and just beating a dead horse. You know, we call it the right and the left, and it's a pendulum. Well, if you get too far to the right, well, you got anarchy, because the right tends to be less government, smaller government, as a lot of people say, which, you know, you go all the way to that side and you have no government. But the left side, you know, is bigger government, which tends to lead to socialism, communism, totalitarianism. And that's, you know, no government and total government. Either one is not a, you know, we like it right in the middle. Lately, we've been, you know, dangerously close to the socialism. Some would even say communism. But now we're starting to swing back. And as long as most of our time is spent in a happy medium, the people are happy. We saw that in the 80s with Ronald Reagan and the Bushes, and, you know, but even the Bushes were kind of, there were some things, some of their things I didn't like, and there's things about Trump that I don't like. The fact that he pushed the vaccine during COVID, I was not a big fan of that, and I said back then, I said, if you're going to force me to get the vaccine, then I won't be working for you. And I never did get the vaccine. That was not the government's place to force something like that on me, especially something that had not been tested. You look at all our other vaccines, they've had years of tests and studies and everything done on them. But the COVID vaccine, they popped that up in a couple months and said, "Here, give this to everybody." No, no, you don't, open your chemistry set, make a make a serum, and throw it at people and say, "Take it or else." Not in America. But now we're starting to. But what Trump is doing now, I see it as good. It There could be a little pain involved. If you don't believe me, ask the Democrats. They're going through the pain right now. They're just you know trying to beat the band about USAID. And I mean, Trump even suggested next step's going to be Department of Education. Next step's going to be the military. We're going to go through it all the books, line by line. And it's something that needs to be done because we've had too many years where our government just felt that all the tax money that came in was just theirs to spend willy-nilly with no accountability. No, you're wrong. That is money that should be used for the taxpayers, for the citizens of our country, not just given out to whoever we feel deserves it, whoever is the newest cause. But now we're maybe not putting a halt to it, but we're, you know, stepping pretty heavy on the brake. But you got the Democrats they're out there talking about, oh, you're taking food out of people's mouths and you're letting hungry people starve. And no, they're not. I watched one on there that they said they're stopping social security payments. No, if they would have, well, I know they listened to him, but they heard what they wanted to hear when Trump stopped the some of the spending. He he said, but individual payments to individual citizens, like your Social Security, your Medicaid, your Medicare, all those and those type of payments would still continue. And they have. It's the billions of dollars going for a trans choir in Bolivia, or for a trans comic book in Pakistan, or transgender surgeries for prisoners in Peru. That sort of stuff stopped because that's not what the money was meant for. It was meant to feed the hungry. It was meant to house the homeless. And now we're getting to the bottom of it, seeing just what the government has been getting up to. And he's being very transparent about it. and I'm happy he's doing it. We've needed to clean house for a long time. We finally fired the maid, and now we're seeing what she was doing. And we're not happy. Well, we're happy that we're finally doing it, but we're not happy with what they did. So, like I said, I don't see a candidate on the left side of the ticket that is even thinkable for any tax-paying citizen. Not one of them. Gavin Newsom, no. I've seen what he did to California. We don't need that nationwide. And I can't honestly think of a candidate that I could even get behind from the Democrat side. And I'm not even a Republican. I don't consider myself a Republican. I I'm pretty much as close to libertarian as you can get. I believe we have a constitution, and it is the law of the land, and we should govern ourselves according to that constitution. The things that the constitution says are left to the states. Leave them to the states. Education, insurance, that sort of stuff. That should all be to the states. But I'm really happy about the patriotism. People aren't afraid to wave their flags anymore. I've seen a lot of European people on YouTube, and they love the fact that they see these videos about America and they see flags all over the place, and they love that. They say, "I wish my country was that patriotic." And a lot of them say, "I want to go visit America because I want to witness that. I want to see those flags flying. I wish we had that lifestyle in our country." But to that I say, well, if you want that in your country, that's change that you have to make in your country. If you don't want to do it there, you can become an American. But I'm sure there's, you know, reasons why you want to be a Portuguese or a Brit or a Frenchman or a Norwegian. You know, that's that's completely up to you. But if you want some of what we have here in your country, well, that's change that you gotta get through your own government. However, whatever means it takes legally. I'm very proud of my service. I'm proud of my son's service. I'm proud of my father's service, my family's service. To me, it was an honor to serve my country when I did. I try and encourage my sons to not be ashamed of their service, which they shouldn't be. Not only is it a family tradition, but it's just good for the country. They are part of that 6% of the American population that actually served their country, defended their country, defended the rights of their citizens. 6%. Now, when you get as big as the numbers we have here in this country, that roughly comes out to 2 or 3 million. But still, for 355 million to owe their freedoms, their privileges, their rights to 1 or 2 million, that says something. It says something about those people. It says something about the men who served. And they have no reason to hang their head, no reason to be ashamed. I hope this keeps up. But like everything, we got to keep an eye on it, because government won't govern itself. Government won't govern itself. It'll govern everybody else, but government has a hard time governing itself. That's up to us. And you think your vote don't matter? Yes, it does. Because that is your voice expressing your views. And we all have them. Sometimes we may be drowned out by another point of view. Well, then you just got to yell a little bit louder. But don't compromise your principles just to go with the flow. That doesn't help anybody, especially not yourself. Got a minute and a half left. What sage piece of advice can I give in a minute and a half? I think I've pretty much said what I wanted to say. Gave this Marine's perspective. So, if you like what you hear, give me a thumbs up. If you want to, I could always use, if you want to subscribe, please do. That helps me on the algorithm, so they say. But leave a comment. Give me a topic to talk about. Give me a suggestion. Give me a critique. I'm looking for all of them. And I encourage all of them. But for right now, I guess I'm done talking. So, Semper Fi.